This video is going to cover the flange bearing that you see here on the right-hand side. So the first thing that we need to do is create a drawing to show the proper views, and then we'll create a section view, and then finally dimension this part. So let's go ahead and start with looking at this view from the top. So we can go ahead and get the majority of these holes in here, and that'll help us draw the front view. So let's go ahead and choose our circle command. Let's actually make that smaller so we can keep seeing it. There we go. Grab our circle command, and we're going to start with this center circle that we have here. And we have some additional information that you're probably not used to. But what this means is there's a diameter of 1.50. That's that smaller diameter. It goes all the way through the part. And then this is a countersink. That's what the V here is, countersink. So this is an angle. This diameter is a diameter of 2.5, and the angle down to the smaller diameter is 82 degrees. So we will be putting in the 4-inch radius, the 2.5, and the 1.5 to start off with. So let's go ahead and type in our 4.0. And we will repeat our circle. Put our 2.50 in. Repeat our circle one more time here. And put our 1.50 in. At this point, we need to go ahead and place these small circles. And same thing here. We have a little bit different information. We have two holes, which means both sides of this part will have a diameter of 0.75. That's the smaller hole that goes all the way through the part, with a counter bore for our larger circle, and it goes down a depth of 1.25. So the larger circle down to the smaller circle is 1.25. So let's go ahead and place those. We'll go ahead and choose our circle first, and we'll put in the larger radius of 1. And if you notice, it is 4 inches from our center. So we're going to do our snap from, which is located right up here. Let's try to get that menu down a little bit so I can see it a little bit easier. So snap from, we're going to snap from our interior. Whoops, we didn't grab the circle. Snap from our center of our circle. And then we're going to do an @ symbol, and we're going to be moving, we'll do the left-hand side first. So negative 4.00, comma 0, because we're not moving up or down. And that places the center of our left side. And we'll go ahead and start getting these circles in. So we have a radius of 1. So since I have diameter, I'm just going to put the diameter of 2. And then we have our diameter of 0.75. And then we have our larger circle here of 1.00. At this point, all we have to do is copy to the other side. We don't have to do the snap from. So I'm just going to select the entire set of circles here, hit enter, and choose my center point. Just drag this over to the right, and it's 8 inches apart. So we'll type in our 8 inches. The last thing to do to get this top view in here is to go ahead and create this tangent lines from our small circles on the outside to our large circle. So we're just going to choose our line command, choose our snap tangent. Whoops, I don't think I got the line command there. Snap tangent. And then we have to do the tangent again, because remember, one click and then that command is done, that quick snap. So we have to do the tangent each time. Then 2 more times, grab our line, tangent, and tangent. We can right click to quickly get our line. We'll do our tangent and our tangent one more time. The last thing that we need to do is go ahead and trim off this part of the circle, because we do not need that. We'll do that on both sides. So that is our top view. So now to create our front view here, we need to create some layers. So we're going to start off by creating a construction layer. And we'll just make this gray. And it stays as a continuous line. And while we're in here, we know we're going to need to create a hidden layer. And we'll make that orange. We need to change our line type from continuous. Load some new line types. Let's choose hidden. Make sure you select hidden, otherwise it stays on continuous. We're going to create a center layer. And there we go. It looks like we got a couple extras. Let's do this one, center layer, but let's also do a dimension layer since we're going to be adding dimensions here in a little bit. Let's make our dimensions. Come in here, we'll make our dimensions green. And let's make our dimensions need to be solid. It looks like we need to go ahead and do our center lines. Let's go ahead and make those cyan. And we need to change from our line type of hidden. We need to go ahead and create a center line. New layer that we haven't talked much about is our cutting plane. And that's going to show where the cut line would go through our part to create our section view. So our cut plane, let's go ahead and make it magenta. Oops, looks like I selected both of those. Cancel. And our cutting plane, we need to change the line type to phantom, which is very close to center, except it has a long dash and then two short dashes, and then a long dash. And our final one that we're going to go ahead and create is our section. And that's going to show the cut portion of our part. And we'll leave it as magenta, but it will be a continuous line. All right, so let's go ahead and choose our construction. Let's go up here, we'll choose construction. And from here, at each quadrant of our circle, we're just going to drag straight down. Well, we won't do these small ones yet. Let's go ahead and get the large ones first. That way we don't have so many lines going through our drawing. So when we look at our view here, when we look at anything that's cylindrical from the side, it'll look rectangular. So we're going to change to a object line, and we will start down here towards the bottom, and our line goes all the way over to our other side here. And that is our line here that we would see. Now, again, we don't see depth, so that's just a straight line. Now we need to put our height. Let's go back to our line. Our height here is 1. And it would also go clear to the other side. Go back down to the bottom here. Then we're going to go ahead and place the height of this piece here, which is 3 inches, it looks like. So we'll bring it up 3. And then over, and then down. Now notice this does not go down into this location of our base of the feature because it's just sitting right on top of that base feature. So now let's go ahead and do our smaller circles. Let's move back to our construction line. And again, from each quadrant, we're going to drop it straight down. And now since we see that it is in the middle of our part here, we're actually going through our part to be able to create it. It should be a hidden line. And we're going to come down here, line right up with our edge. And it looks to me, let's go back over here. It goes down a depth of 0.25. So we're going to go straight down 0.125. Then over to our other side and back up. And then the smaller hole goes all the way through. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Smaller hole goes all the way through. And we do the exact same thing on this other side. So again, we're going to come in here. This time I'm just going to align it. And you can do it this way as you get more and more comfortable. It allows you to have fewer steps, but you also have to be careful that you're not missing parts or you're not connecting to the wrong location. So the nice thing with having construction lines is you can always check to see that you have created representation in each view. If you do it this way, sometimes you run into some issues and you may miss one because of that. So just showing you another way, but just showing you the cautionary tale with using that way. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and move to the center portion here. And again, we're going to move to our construction lines. And from each quadrant, we're going to drop straight down. Same thing with our small circle. We know it's going to go all the way through. Now what's a little different here, we're going to go ahead and grab our hidden line. The difference is when we come in here, instead of going straight down, we're actually going to be going at an angle. And it says it's an angle of, let's see here, 82 degrees. So as I come through here, I want to draw a line at 82 degrees. And I don't really know the length of my line, so I can just drag my cursor out to the right-hand side, type in my @ symbol, and let's just put a measurement of 1. And we know the angle symbol, and it's going to be 82 degrees. So now we're going down, so we want to make it negative 82 degrees. Otherwise, it's going to go straight up. So that is not the correct angle. Let's erase that. All right, so I miscommunicated with myself. It should be 41 degrees because it's 82 degrees from one side to the other side here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time. Let's put in our @ symbol, 1.00, angle 41. Oops, and again, it's negative 41 because we're going backwards. We're going clockwise versus counterclockwise. Negative 41. I hope I put my angle in there. Yes, I did. Okay. And then we can go ahead and place our line straight down all the way through. And then same thing on this side. Or we could do a fun little, let's actually just trim this. We could actually do mirror, so you don't have to do that again. And we're going to mirror our two new lines here, use our midpoint, and there's our other side. And hit our enter. Whoops. And no, we don't want to erase it. And we also have a line that goes from here all the way over because it'll represent, you'll see that edge there. So you need to make sure you have that on there. So at this point, I can go ahead and change or turn off my construction lines. I'm going to move this a little bit above because it's kind of in our way here. So let's select this. Make sure we got everything. There we go. All right, now we need to go ahead and add our center lines. And again, from the center of our circles, needs to extend beyond our part. Let's do that one more time. I'm using the center of my circles. Drag it straight down. We want to be consistent in our length. And same on the other side. Line it up. And I may change that blue. That is very bright. Line it up. So it's nice and clean. Let's go ahead and all you have to do is select the color. And we can go in and change it to a little bit different color. Let's give it a little bit darker blue. There we go, a little bit cleaner. So that's how you create the front and the top view. But now to create a section view, what we're looking at doing is if we were going to cut this part in half, we would then look at the one half and that's what you would see. So let's start by adding our cutting plane. And when we create a cutting plane, you actually extend a little bit beyond your part, and you're just going straight through your part. The next thing you want to do is add your leader line. And we're going to right click and do our options. And we do, let's see, our leader landing. No, we don't want a landing. Just means we don't want that extra little line. And then we can also right click and do leader first. So when we create our drawing here, we create our arrows. Notice that there's no, whoops, extra little piece here. And then I don't have to create the second one. I can just copy what I just did and put it over. So that is our cutting plane line, and our eye, the arrows represent our eyes. So imagine we cut this in half. We take this bottom half and kind of toss it away, and we rotate it, and we're looking at our part. Everything that you see here that was a hidden line now becomes a solid line. So we're just going to go through and select all of our lines that are hidden lines. And we're just going to do a quick change to a solid line. The other thing you would see is notice that you would no longer see this line here, because you would only see the opening for the hole that's going all the way through. And it's also cutting through here. So you wouldn't see those two lines either. At this point, when you cut something, it's always going to make, you know, kind of like cut marks. So what we're going to do is change this to section. And we're going to place a hatched line to represent those kind of cut marks in your part. So you only hatch what would actually material you would cut through. So you would cut through this material. That's the material you'll see right here. The hole, you're not cutting through, you're cutting through air. Same thing, you'd be cutting through here, you're cutting through here, and cutting through here. Once you're finished, select enter your check mark, and that's how you create a section view. The last part of it is we always need to label our section view. So we're going to label this one AA because it's the first one that we have. And again, you can just copy, or you can actually go in and reproduce it. It's up to you, but this way it's nice and aligned. And then down here, we're going to create the label of this part, which is section A-A. You can have multiple section views on one part. So just keep that in mind. That's why we're labeling them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. Video number 2 will be how do you dimension this part.